The fluorescent lights of Sterling Medical Pharmacy buzzed overhead as Maya Foster placed her prenatal vitamins on the counter. 8 months pregnant, she shifted her weight from one swollen foot to the other, trying to find comfort. The pharmacist, a tall man with silver hair and cold blue eyes, stared at her with suspicion that made her skin crawl. His name Ted read Dr. Kenneth Bradford, head pharmacist. "Excuse me, ma'am," Dr. Bradford said sharply, his voice cutting through the quiet store. "I need you to wait right there." Maya blinked, confused. "Is something wrong with my prescription? I have reason to believe you've taken something from this pharmacy without paying." His words felt like hammers, loud enough for everyone in the store to hear. 3 customers turned to stare. Maya's cheeks burned with shame. "What? No, I haven't taken anything." Her hands instinctively moved to her belly, protecting her unborn child. Her heart hammered against her ribs. "I just picked up my vitamins. You can check the cameras." Dr. Bradford crossed his arms, his face a mask of certainty. "I've been doing this for 20 years. I know when someone is stealing. I'm calling security." Maya felt the world tilt beneath her feet. This couldn't be happening. Not here. Not now. She'd done nothing wrong. Absolutely nothing. The other customers whispered among themselves, their eyes judging her, convicting her without evidence. An elderly woman clutched her purse tighter and moved away. A young man recorded on his phone. "Please," Maya said, her voice breaking. "I'm 8 months pregnant. I would never steal anything. Check my receipt. Check everything. Open your bag," Dr. Bradford demanded, reaching across the counter. Security guards appeared from the back, 2 large men in dark uniforms. One spoke into his radio. "We have a situation at the pharmacy counter. Possible theft." Maya's hands trembled as she fumbled with her purse. Tears stung her eyes, but she refused to let them fall. She wouldn't give these people the satisfaction. She pulled out her wallet, her phone, her keys. Nothing else. Just her personal belongings and the receipt for the vitamins she'd already paid for. "See," she said, her voice stronger now, anger replacing fear. "There's nothing. I paid for my medication. I've done nothing wrong." Dr. Bradford snatched the receipt from her hand, examining it with narrowed eyes. He wasn't satisfied. He never intended to be satisfied. "Check her coat pockets," he ordered the security guards. "You can't do this," Maya protested, but one guard was already moving toward her. "This is harassment. This is racial profiling. Don't make this harder than it needs to be," the guard said, his hand outstretched. Maya's phone buzzed in her hand. She'd managed to send a text to her husband before they surrounded her. James would come. He had to come. She stepped back, protecting herself, protecting her baby. "I want to speak to the manager. I want someone else here. You have no right to treat me like a criminal." The automatic doors whooshed open. James Foster strode through them like a force of nature, his dark eyes scanning the scene in seconds. He was shorter than the security guards but carried himself with undeniable authority. His gray suit was crisp, his tie perfectly knotted. He moved straight to Maya's side, his hand gentle on her shoulder. "What's going on here?" His voice was calm, but underneath it ran a current of steel. Dr. Bradford stepped forward, confident in his position. "Your wife has been accused of theft. We're conducting a search." "Based on what evidence?" James asked, his tone measured. He looked at the security guards, at the pharmacist, at the gathering crowd. His expression gave nothing away. "Based on my professional observation," Dr. Bradford said smugly. "I've caught dozens of thieves in this store." James pulled out his phone, never taking his eyes off the pharmacist. He dialed a number and held it to his ear. "This is Agent Foster, badge number 47293. I need immediate backup at Sterling Medical Pharmacy, 1847 Riverside Avenue. Yes, now. The color drained from Dr. Bradford's face. The security guards exchanged uncertain glances. Maya felt her husband's hand squeeze her shoulder, reassuring her. Everything was about to change, James continued, his voice growing harder with each word. Dr. Kenneth Bradford, you are currently under federal investigation for insurance fraud, discriminatory practices, and filing false police reports against minority customers. This incident is being added to a list of 18 similar accusations you made in the past 14 months. 12 of those accusations were against black women. All of them were false. The pharmacy fell silent except for the buzzing lights overhead. That's ridiculous, Dr. Bradford sputtered, but his voice lacked conviction. Sweat appeared on his forehead. I don't know what you're talking about. James pulled out his federal badge, holding it up for everyone to see. I'm Special Agent James Foster with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. For the past 6 months, we've been building a case against you and this pharmacy chain. You've been systematically targeting minority customers, accusing them of theft to cover your own illegal activities. You've been billing insurance companies for medications never dispensed, then accusing innocent people to create confusion and cover your tracks. One of the security guards stepped away from Maya, his face pale. We didn't know, sir. We were just following orders. Your surveillance footage will confirm that, James said. Step aside, please. 2 police officers entered the pharmacy, followed by 2 more federal agents. They moved with practiced efficiency, one heading straight for Dr. Bradford. The pharmacist's hands shook as he raised them. Kenneth Bradford, you're under arrest for insurance fraud, filing false reports, and civil rights violations, the lead officer announced, pulling out handcuffs. The metal clicked around Dr. Bradford's wrists with finality. His face crumbled, the arrogance melting into panic. This is a mistake. You can't prove anything. He shouted, but his protests fell on deaf ears. James turned to Maya, his professional mask finally cracking to show concern. Are you okay? Is the baby okay? Maya nodded, tears finally spilling down her cheeks. But these weren't tears of shame anymore. They were tears of relief, of vindication, of justice finally served. We're fine. We're going to be fine. The store manager appeared, rushing from the back office, his face red with embarrassment. Mrs. Foster, I am so deeply sorry. This should never have happened. We had no idea Dr. Bradford was conducting these activities. The company will issue a formal apology and implement immediate policy changes. Other customers began approaching Maya, apologizing for their silence, for their assumptions. The young man who'd been recording stopped his video and deleted it. The elderly woman who clutched her purse came forward with tears in her eyes. I'm sorry I judged you, dear, she whispered. I should have spoken up. Within an hour, the pharmacy had been secured as a crime scene. Federal agents collected evidence, boxed up files, and interviewed witnesses. The local news had arrived, their cameras capturing Dr. Bradford being led away in handcuffs. The story would make headlines. Justice, for once, would be visible. James guided Maya to a chair near the pharmacy entrance, away from the chaos. He knelt beside her, his hand on her belly, feeling their daughter kick. She's a fighter, just like her mother. Maya managed a smile through her exhaustion. You knew all along, didn't you? That's why you weren't surprised when I called. We had him under surveillance, James admitted. When you texted, I knew exactly what was happening. We've been waiting for him to slip up one more time, to give us enough evidence for an airtight case. I'm sorry you had to go through that, but your courage just helped us protect dozens of other families from this man. Later that evening, as they sat in their living room, the news played on television. The anchor reported that Dr. Bradford faced up to 15 years in federal prison. The pharmacy chain announced a complete review of their policies and mandatory bias training for all employees. 3 other victims had already come forward, ready to testify. Maya's phone buzzed with messages of support from friends, family, and even strangers who'd seen the news. The community rallied around her. Organizations reached out, offering help and solidarity. What had started as her worst nightmare had transformed into something powerful, something meaningful. "You changed everything today," Maya said softly, leaning against her husband's shoulder. James shook his head, pressing a kiss to her forehead. "No. You changed everything. You stood your ground. You refused to be silent. You're the hero in this story." 3 weeks later, Maya gave birth to a healthy baby girl. They named her Justice Hope Foster. Because that's what her mother had fought for. That's what her father had delivered. And that's what their family would always stand for. The story spread far beyond their city. Policy changes rippled through pharmacy chains nationwide. Training programs were implemented. Accountability measures were put in place. And whenever Maya told her daughter about the day she was born, she would start with the truth. That one moment of courage, one refusal to accept injustice, can change the world, because sometimes, the most powerful weapon against hatred isn't silence or submission. It's standing firm in your truth, knowing that justice, though it may be delayed, will always find its way home.